And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. Tension is tonight rising in Garu in the Upper East region as youth demand the immediate release of 8 of their colleagues arrested after a military raid with threats that public servants there will withdraw their services until this is done. And this follows the alleged brutality of a few of the residents there after the National Security Ministry has issued a statement indicating that their own officers have been a subject of attack, and the youth they had mobilized to attack a police station there where the national security operatives had taken refuge after they were attacked. Well, tonight this is a subject of debate on the floor of Parliament. The Speaker has ordered that the National Security Minister Albert Kandapa appears before MPs next week to explain the alleged brutalization of the civilians in Garu. We have more from Parliament for you pretty shortly, but I want to take you to Garu first, because today the youth have been mobilizing to address the media, and it was a pretty charged atmosphere. My colleague Albert Sorry is on the ground, has been following this for us and joins us with details now. Albert, we've been looking at the videos today, and it looked pretty charged. The community had come together with strong demands.
Exactly so, Evan. So what the youth did was that they came together. You know, Garu and Tempani were initially one district. It was the Garu-Tempani district. They have now been separated into 2 separate districts, Garu and Tempani. And so because of that, they came together and held this press conference because civilians from both areas were affected by all of this. And so that is why you had the very charged atmosphere.
They beat teachers. Yes. They beat nurses. They beat students. They beat bankers. They beat doctors. Nobody was left out. Yes. And let us put it on record that those who were arrested are people who are opinion leaders, assembly members and former assembly members who were arrested. They have no record on crime so long as we are aware. So we are not going to force people not to come out, but we, the people who are workers in the town, are going to lay down our tools in protest until our people are brought to us. Yes. We are going to take the laws into our hands, but we will not come out as workers in the town whilst we are being beaten, whilst our items are taken from us, whilst our leaders are still in police custody, and we don't even know where they are whereabouts.
So, Albert, from what we're hearing there, they want the release of these 8 individuals who were picked up and, from what we understand, are still on detention?
Yes, they are still on they are still in detention. I spoke with the district chief executive for Tempani, and what he told me was that he was in contact with the leadership of the military, and they were giving him updates as to the condition in which these men who were arrested are, and they were telling him that they are in good condition and they are still under investigation. They are being held at the NIB, but as to when they will be released, he did not have information on that.
By the way, other specific demands ahead today. The residents at this press conference also were detailing what they believe to be the accurate reflection of what actually happened on the ground.
Exactly. So you realize that they were saying they are going to withdraw their services because some of them even came to the press conference with their injuries to show us. So nurses, teachers, and all of that were some of the people who were beaten and sustained injuries when the military invaded the area. And so one of the measures they intend to take is to withdraw their services to force the government to listen to them because they want a full-scale investigation into the incident. There were people who are saying that they had their personal belongings, like mobile phones. Some even claim that their monies were taken from them, and they want all of these things returned. And they also want an unqualified apology from the government and also from the Ghana Armed Forces for the brutalities that were meted out to them.
Albert, thank you very much. And today, the Member of Parliament for the area, Albert Alao Zuga, has been delivering a statement on the floor demanding a parliamentary probe.
It is important to mention that the incident by the military as to a long list of barbaric and inhumane actions carried out by our men in uniform on innocent civilians whom they ought to be protecting as a matter of responsibility. Mr. Speaker, reports from the residents in my constituency indicates that on the 29th, Sunday, October, military men visited Garu at dawn, beat up, maimed, destroyed, and in some cases, took away monies and valuable properties from the residents of Garu. This is an unacceptable violation of their human rights, and as a matter of urgency, I am strongly calling on and demanding for the immediate government intervention to address this issue, and also for Parliament to open a probe into this matter and bring a comprehensive resolution to it. The brutalities in Garu and Tempane must be the last on the people of Ghana. The incident is not linked, and I want to urge the national security to come again with their reason.
Parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante joins us right now on the line. Kweku, there were some disagreements on the statement that we just heard. What was it about?
Well, Evan, even before Al-Zulga will take his seat and complete his statement, Alexander Afenyo-Martin, the deputy majority leader, was on his feet. He says that there are some inaccuracies in the statement that have been presented by the MP. He claimed that MPs cannot impugn the integrity of the national security. If he puts out a statement and says this is what happened, it is not up to the MP for the area to come to the floor and claim that the national security was simply peddling on truth.
A statement he made seriously breached the orders under which he came. And I want to take advantage of the opportunity given me to address that so that we correct the records once and for all. Mr. Speaker, the order under which he came clearly requires of him not to introduce debates in statements of such nature. But Mr. Speaker, he is taking advantage of the statement to say, impugn improper motive into national security apparatus we have in the country by saying that an official statement made by the national security is wholly untrue. Mr. Speaker, we cannot compromise with respect. We would know that cannot be your opinion. That cannot be with respect. That cannot be. We cannot, Mr. Speaker, as a political class, condescend to that level where we compromise the national security apparatus of this country. A statement was issued, which statement you acknowledge in your statement. However, you are saying that it's wholly untrue. You can criticize them, which I agree with you, that there were excesses in their reaction. And I'm going to support you on that. But to say that the statement they issued was wholly untrue, with respect, honorable colleague, please take that one out, because I support your statement. Human rights abuses anywhere is unacceptable. Please withdraw that aspect.
Kweku, did he withdraw? Hello, Kweku. We may have lost Kweku there. Just to give us clarity on this. Also on the floor today, some other members of the House were asking Parliament to go way beyond
and had admitted the statement. He did not believe that there was anything wrong with that.
We lost your the beginning of your submission. Did he withdraw?
No, he did not. The deputy speaker who was presiding, Andrew Amakwesiama, intervened and said that he had gone through the statement and admitted same to be read on the floor. And in his opinion, he did not see that anything was wrong with that. He did not withdraw. He concluded and made his demands on the floor.
Mahama Yariga was also on the floor today, and his point was that Parliament should just not accept a simple probe into this or a briefing from the National Security Minister. They should go beyond that and assert its authority.
Definitely. According to Mahama Yariga, this action by the military and other security agencies are simply becoming one too many, and that it is time for Parliament to assert its authority. If not, the military and other security persons will allegedly go on rampage and actually brutalize more citizens in so many areas.
We established
the security agencies for a purpose, for the enforcement of law and order. So they themselves must respect law and order. They must be guided by the law. Mr. Speaker, there are protocols for doing everything. How can one person fire at a police station in Garu, then the Ghana Armed Forces will go to Buguri, which is about 15 kilometers away from Garu, go to Timpani, a completely different district from Garu, and then come to Garu town and then round up every single person that they come across and beat and maim and injure and then take some back to their camp and continue the molestation. What kind of country are we living in? Ashama, we saw it. Wow, we saw it. Boku, I have seen it several times. It has become a culture there. Mr. Speaker, we must put a stop to what our military is doing. That is why, Mr. Speaker, you must accept your authority and instruct a serious probe into this matter, Mr. Speaker.
Did they get a probe, Kweku? Hello, Kweku, can you hear me?
Yes, Evans, they did not get a probe, but at least they got something. The Speaker of Parliament has ordered the National Security Minister to appear before Parliament next week, Thursday, and brief the House in terms of the full set of facts. And then the Speaker says, based on that information that the National Security Minister will provide, they will take a decision as to whether or not a probe is necessary. Also, Evans, you heard them from the residents in the community demanding the release of some 8 persons who were lifted to Accra. The Speaker of Parliament is also ordering their release or that they should be put before court so that the court of competent jurisdiction can assume the jurisdiction on the matter.
Most of the contributors have stated their side of the story. So I would like the minister to be here, listening to this and knowing what is actually taking place, to come and brief the House. And afterwards, if there's a need, to refer the minister to appear before the committee that will subsequently be set, to just sit down with them and bring a report back to the House for all of us to. So at the moment, what I want to do is to invite the minister to appear before the entire House, come and brief us. Probably what we are hearing is different from what the minister has at his lips. So let's invite the minister, appear before the House. Probably he might have heard all what is going on. He'll come and brief the House, and we'll take it from there. So that is my directives, that the minister appear before the House on Thursday night of November. I will direct that if they have been incarcerated more than 48 hours by law, the police or the BNI or the NIB should refer them to court for them to be able to continue holding them. So I think the lawyers must pursue that. We will direct that at least they should release them. If they have been incarcerated more than 48 hours, they should release them. And if they want to still maintain them by way of maintain them in incarceration, they should go to court and justify why they should be continuing incarceration.
And thankfully, I have on the line right now the chairman of the District Security Council, the DCE for Timpani, and Abida Isaka. Also joining us is Albert Akuga Aluzuga, who's the MP for the area. Mr. Isaka, thanks for your time here on Top Story.
Good evening.
Do you know if these men have been released just yet? He had the Speaker of Parliament. He says they should be released. Do you have any information on that?
Thank you very much to your cherished listeners. As at now, I have not gotten any information as to whether they are released or not.
As the chair of the Security Council, what briefing do you have from the police?
The briefing I had was that when there were 16 in number who, after the exercise, were taken. So we followed up to their camp in Bazua, and they said that the military said that they have done some screening and they are releasing 8 to us, and they are sending the other 8 for further interrogation. So yesterday, when I called one of the captains, they said when they finish the interrogation, they will bring them back yesterday. But for today, I've not gotten any.
Oh, goodness me. We just may have just lost him there. We'll try and re-establish contact and get that brief. As you've just been hearing today here on Top Story, the youth have been gathering again today, making extra demands with threats. Thankfully, the Member of Parliament is still with me. Mr. Alao Zuga is with me right now. Thanks, sir. You were on the floor today. You delivered a statement. The Speaker backs the point about releasing the individual still in custody. As we speak tonight, the youth have been gathering today, addressing the press conference and making threats also. There is this concern that this needs to be managed. Are you in touch with the youth on the ground? You've been speaking on their behalf. And what are you doing to try and calm nerves and ensure that, of course, the security agencies can deal with this in a manner that doesn't escalate?
Thank you very much, Ivan, for the opportunity, and good evening to our cherished listeners.
Hello, Albert.
Floor this afternoon, we are so worried that the rights of the citizens of Garu and Tempani has been violated, and then they continue to violate them. The security authorities continue to violate the rights of the people, in the sense that these people were mercilessly brutalized. As I speak to you, a number of people are still being hospitalized. Now, some people were picked, just like the DC for Tempani mentioned. They were picked, about 16 people were picked up, sent to the military camp at Bazua. They screened and then released some, but about 9 of them have been brought to Accra. As we speak, after being brutalized in the various homes, brought to the Bazua camp, the military camp, and brutalized, moved to Tamale, and now they are in Accra. As we speak, it was I've been trying to even see their faces since yesterday. Since yesterday, I went to the BNI head office. Myself and then Honorable Avoka, MP for Zebila, went in there, tried to see them. We were told that it was late and that they wouldn't allow us to see them, that we should come today. Today, as early as 9 o'clock, I was at the BNI head office. I've been there. Then after a while, they were telling me I could only see 2 of them. And I said, no. I insisted that I need to see all of them because they are my constituents. And so that I must be a lawyer. And I said, no, as of now, the matter has not been put to court. The people, we cannot, you have not granted them bail. And so once they don't have access to legal service right now, we need, as their member of parliament, to be able to see them so that I can talk to their families so that they will know that they are in safe hands. Then they said I should talk to a bigger authority. They went back and came and told me that they said they have taken them to court. And then I asked them, which court did you send them to? They said they were unable to disclose the court that they are taking them to. So you see that, as I said, these are people who were brutalized on the 29th, 30th, 31st. Today is 1st. And they are still being held. No access to bail. Their families, including myself as their member of parliament, do not know the condition. We don't know their health condition. So what crime? Even armed robbers and people who have caused murder, at least they have access to bail.
I wonder if you secure legal representation for them, though.
Well, the point is that that's why we went there with Honorable Avoka. Avoka is a lawyer. So I think that what is happening, we are not happy about it. After the barbaric action, inhumane and barbaric action meted out to them, at least you have picked them. You are investigating the matter, and they need to show some human face on this matter. I mean, the assemblyman, a former assemblyman, and many other well-meaning people, young men who you have picked. At least I don't know what else they wanted to do. I just wanted to see them. How are they doing? As their member of parliament.
In the meantime,
but I was denied access.
In the meantime, we've had the speaker today also order their release.
That was the speaker's comments were based on my statement on the floor of parliament, and then the demands that I was making, calling on government to do a probe into the matter, and the Parliament of Ghana to do a probe into the matter, and the speaker is in the process of granting that. But the speaker has called for their immediate release.
Yes, and I wanted to ask since that, have you had any change in the status quo as far as the detention is concerned?
Change. They are still being held by the BNI, NIB.
In the meantime,
they are being held by NIB. Yes.
In the meantime, though, today the youth gathered, wearing red armbands with threats, addressing the press. This obviously must be managed to avert an escalation. As a member of parliament, of course, you're representing them in Accra. What's your assurance on dealing with this in the way with the authorities to avert an escalation?
I can assure you that the youth of Garu and Tempane are law-abiding young men and women. They will not take the law into their own hands. We have been speaking, and I've been in touch with them. I do not think that anybody is going to, misbehave. The only thing is just that they are protesting, which is legally their legal right. So they are protesting and they are calling on the release of the people. We are not stopping any security agency from doing their investigation. But the fact is that they must respect the rights, the human rights of the people, which is bestowed on them by the Constitution of Ghana. I think that they should let us see. I would want to see the people. I want to see the face of the people at least by tomorrow. And then at least they should, if they require, so I can give them some legal representation. But this idea of treating them as if they are, high-level criminals, for God's sake, it is something else that we are investigating. You don't even know whether these people are investigating.
But today, this was a subject on the floor, and it was a heated exchange between yourself and Afenyo Marking. That the allegation is that these individuals were involved.
Afenyo Marking, with all due respect, I did not violate any law. And like I said, he's not the only lawyer on the floor of parliament. They are legal luminaries like himself. So, and if I present a statement which is really led by leadership, who are equally lawyers, or some of them are lawyers. So he cannot go and then think that maybe he knows better than all of them. Well,
but the fundamental point he made was the National Security Ministry also says their operatives were also
is full of inaccuracies.
Well,
that
but
is my view.
Just a second.
So
we also saw,
and I'm the member of parliament from the area.
You're entitled to that.
What their statements is full of inaccuracies. It doesn't mean that, he has his view too. But I think that's my view.
To the substantive point, though, that the National Security Ministry makes, that their own operators were also assaulted, and that they believe the individuals they are holding were responsible.
That none of their operators was assaulted. With the information I've picked from the ground, that from the location where the first group of youth met the car, and then advise them to relocate to the place. The youth were the people who led the car, who advised them that, look, this place you are parked is not safe. Move to this place. And they complied. And they moved with them to the station. No, none of them was touched. Nobody slapped anybody. No, none of them was. What happened about the incident of shooting into the car and all that, I condemned it myself. Like I'm condemning the military brutality.
That's
why we are calling for an investigation into the matter. That if there's any proper investigation into the matter, you will get to know what happened. But to go and brutalize people mercilessly, including people who are innocent, who know nothing about it. There were a lot of these people who they just came on a visit to Garu, and they have been brutalized. Some of them are workers who travel from far and near to come and work.
Yeah, Mr. Alozuga, at least tonight you've said that you acknowledge that guns were used and fired into the vehicle, and you condemn that. I guess that's what Afenyo Marking was making, that whilst you demand that the individuals arrested are treated with a human face, but also their rights are respected, also deal with the issues that they've been raised with the attack on the security operatives. I want to quickly
Nobody attacked the security operatives in person. I'm saying,
and I want to bring in Isaka, who is a DC there, because of the situation on the ground tonight. I just want to get a sense, Isaka, you're the DC and the chairman of the Security Council. How are you dealing with the tensions still boiling in that part of the Upper East region, in Garu, to be very specific tonight, from the District Security Council's point of view?
Thank you very much to your cherished listeners. As a measure, when the incident happened, we were all involved. So after the whole incident, we had to make sure that we carry the victims to the health facilities for them to be treated. Then after that, what we did as a District Security Council, we talked to our regional minister. He came to Garu and Tempani. He met the youth and the elders, and we talked to them because from the way the thing happened, there was fear and panic in the entire 2 districts. So what we did is we met them at the Chief Palace. We talked to them and appealed to them that we have talking to the Defense Minister, the Interior Minister, and the National Security Minister, and we have gotten the assurance that no one will come again to make any kind of brutalities to them.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's Anabida Isaka. There's a DC for Timpani. Earlier you had the MP for Garu, Akuka Alauzuga. News Night in a minute.
Ever visited a